Content warning. On this podcast, we discuss sensitive issues, including, but not limited to, swearing, tasteless jokes, situations of a sexual nature, and drug use. This podcast is not intended for children. Welcome to Bibliorex, where we read the worst stories the world has to offer, and this is bonus material.
We're doing bad book, bad movie, and this is bad.
Yeah. And we're raw dogging it today because nobody did notes.
I thought you would take notes.
And I thought you would take notes.
And so we're going off of the Wikipedia summary and just going off vibes.
Yep, we're just going to bitch about it
We're
for a while.
doing vibes. We are doing Bird Box.
Mm-hmm. By Josh Malerman?
It's
or
Josh.
Malerman?
Josh, I guess it's Malerman.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Oh, it was first published in the United Kingdom.
Oh.
I wonder if he's British.
Strange.
Also, the man writing the woman protagonist, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like true to me.
Yeah.
Especially like the birthing stuff, and I don't know. Before we get into all of the content, major trigger warnings for suicide, self-harm, harm to other people, animal abuse, things like that. It's all within the context of the things in the story cause sentient life to kill itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the thing, you go insane, you kill yourself. So if suicide and like that is a trigger, please don't listen to this. This is not meant for children.
So you want to do the overview, and I'll sit here and not comment because I'm really bad about that?
You can try.
I can try.
Just like chew on your finger, try to keep your mouth closed. The basic narrative is from the point of view of Mallory. In the book, she's in her early 20s. Sandra Bullock plays her in the movie.
Love Sandra Bullock.
Oh, I love Sandra Bullock. She's fantastic. Mallory, in the book, realizes she's pregnant the same week that random people are just killing themselves and killing their friends.
When they see something.
Well, we
that's
don't
a
know that
big-
initially. We
Right.
just know people are just randomly killing themselves, and it's like an outbreak. Like an outbreak in Russia, Siberia, spreads across the countries. Mallory's sister Shannon is like paying attention and hooked into the internet. The book is set in 2009. The movie is set in 2018-ish, I think. 2014, 2015, like mid-teens.
Yeah.
And so Shannon is like, you need to be careful, we gotta watch out for stuff. And in the book, we have a very long, drawn-out beginning of setting the scene. There's stuff, people don't know what it is, groups of people are just killing themselves, killing each other, going insane with, madness, and it's spreading. And so eventually, Mallory pays attention. They hide out in their house. She's like a few months pregnant. Shannon walks upstairs and accidentally, like a part of the window cover came loose. She was able to look outside. She goes mad and kills herself.
Yeah, very different in the book than it was the movie.
I really appreciated the movie, how quickly we moved through all of that.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
God, it just drags.
It drags so long.
Because, I guess the death is more brutal in the book for Shannon.
No, because she just walks up and she's dead. We don't see it. We don't feel it.
Right, but she, stabbed herself to death with a pair of scissors.
Right. But, I mean, the movie, you watch her step in front of a truck. And you're watching it.
Yeah.
In the book, you don't see it happen. She just walks upstairs and her sister's dead.
I haven't watched the movie since it came out.
You didn't watch the movie for this?
We don't have Netflix.
Okay. Then why don't you do the book summary? So everyone is hiding inside their houses with their windows and doors covered up and nobody's going outside. Eventually, everyone is kind of able to figure out that it's seeing something that makes you go insane. And part of the reason I hate Mallory so much is in the book, she never plans anything. She is forced into action by other people and events that happen to her, and she is the most passive character since Bella Swan.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to leave the house until her sister's dead. Now she has to leave the house. She read in the newspaper this house that was inviting strangers to come in. It was a little refuge that had food and water. And she finally is like, okay, I can't stay here because I'm alone now. She was planning on sitting here in this house with Shannon forever, apparently. And she finds the newspaper and she finds the address and she's like, I will go to try to find this place. Manages to drive over there, manages to get to the front door, and they let her in. So that in the book, a quarter of the way through the frickin' book?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is how she meets the people in the house. Simultaneously, we're going down the river with her and 2 little children.
Yeah, I fucking hated. Because it took me a while to understand, like, where exactly the time jumps were. Because, like, in the timeline themselves, the story wasn't telling them consistently either.
It wasn't like alternating chapters either. It would be paragraph jump, other story, then back.
Yeah, barely any break at all.
And we wouldn't have a tell. We wouldn't say back then.
Yeah, there wasn't like 4 ampersands. Is that what they are? The little pound sign?
Right. Like there wasn't... Well, and I listened to the audiobook, and you listened to the audiobook on YouTube, which had an AI reading it.
Yeah.
And so possibly reading the paper book, we would have had those visual symbols that would show us we're moving to a different time.
I was hoping that there could be something like that because, yeah, in the AI, the version I listened to was read by an AI, and it was just very abrupt.
It felt abrupt in the normal narrated one from the library app. It was very frustrating.
Yeah.
So in the current time,
She's traveling.
Mallory is taking her 2 little children. In the book, they're 4, and in the movie, they're 5. And she's taking them onto is that a John boat?
I think so.
Roughly like
Yeah,
a
something
small
like that, anyway.
rowboat. And she's taking these 2 little children onto the boat, down the river.
To some kind of sanctuary.
To some
She
kind
doesn't
of sanctuary.
know what.
Right.
Exactly.
She doesn't know, we don't know, and she's just screaming at the children, you will obey me or I will hurt you. You will listen to me or I will hurt you. We're just confused at the beginning because it's like, where are you going? Why are you leaving your house?
Yeah.
Why are you taking these 2 little children in a very small boat down a very big river? You're wearing coats. It's obviously cold. What are you doing? Why are we here?
And they're just traveling around blindfolded. And she even comes across a guy who's just like, oh, you're crazy. You should let these kids see some daylight because they've never seen it before, apparently.
They've never been outside. They've never seen outside.
And all we have to go on is the vague descriptions that we've been given at the beginning of the story and Mallory's word for it, that there's something going on.
And Mallory comes across as, like, really anxious and hysterical. And I think that's part of... Maybe that's, like, by design. That's what the author wanted.
Yeah, because it felt very disjunctive. Like, maybe that was, like, her mindset the entire time of her just jumping back through trains of thought.
Right. Like, she is just... She has racing thoughts. Obviously, you would have PTSD from all the shit she's gone through, and you'd be unmedicated because nobody's making pharmaceuticals anymore. So I can understand that. I just can't understand maintaining that level of desperation and anxiety for 4 or 5 years and not being dead. Like, to me, I was just like, this doesn't feel, I don't know, this feels like we're wanting to have the immediate hysteria of, oh, this bad thing is happening right now. But we want to maintain that for 4 years?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, at some point she would crash. At some point she would go insane or something else would happen. So she's going down the river on this little boat. She's going blind. And the biggest difference for the river trip is in the book, she has spent the children's entire lives teaching them to listen.
Yeah, militantly.
Like punishing them if they get something wrong. Like hitting them with a fly swatter if they get something wrong. She has trained them to know when she's smiling because she breathes different. And she would stand over their little crib when they were babies, and if they woke up and opened their eyes, she would hit them with the fly swatter because they needed to wake up and keep their eyes closed.
Yeah, basically training two baby daredevils.
Yes. And teaching them extreme hypervigilance. Like, these children have to be on edge at all times or she punishes them.
Yeah. And it's even said that she needs them because of their ability to actually hear that she doesn't have.
Right. And she thinks she can train into human beings the ability to be bats.
Yeah, and it does feel a little weird because she's literally using her children, but I mean it is using her children for the survival of all three of them, I guess.
Right.
So,
and she thinks that this is the way to get them to adulthood and then beyond. And that's the only plan she has. And so, of course, as the reader, we're like, wait, you were in this house full of people and you were pregnant, and now we're completely alone with two children. So we spend the entire fucking book getting through the flashbacks to find out what happened to all the people.
Yeah, and not only that, a third timeline.
A third timeline
where
that jumps.
It's after everyone in the house is dead.
But before we're going on the river.
Right, so it's just her doing things
and those are, she's remembering them in the other timeline. She's remembering this other event that happened in the middle, and we're supposed to keep track of when that's happening.
Right.
Because at one point, she's remembering this time when the dog died. And then we go back to the previous timeline, and the dog's alive afterwards.
That really screwed me up. I was like, did I not pay attention? Because, the transitions are so abrupt. And I guess just without any visualization on it, it's just kind of hard to tell when that transition happens because the dog is dead and it's just got done eating itself. And then you're back at the house and, Victor's still alive and he's barking at the basement now.
Right. Another big difference between the book and the movie. In the book, animals go crazy from seeing the things.
Yeah.
In the movie, they very specifically do not. And I think in the movie, it's to make things better for the story.
Yeah, I think it's to make it simpler because they cut out the dogs entirely.
Yeah, they don't deal with dogs except for there's a seeing eye dog at the sanctuary at the very end, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's the only time we see it.
They start out with the dog, and then they go
and get more dogs.
Yeah, go and risk traveling out there to find random dogs, and they find these two huskies.
Yeah.
And then they find out later it doesn't fucking work.
Well, they don't know. She finds out later.
Right, yeah. She found that out after everyone had already died.
Yeah. So when we get to she finally gets to the house. The housemates are kind of a random crew of people. I really liked how the movie, the characters are diverse. We have a fat lady, we have an old lady, we have an Asian gentleman, we have a black man, we have a lady who looks Latina, and we have some white people. And I really liked that because everybody in the book is assumed to be white.
Yeah.
And we talk about their pale, beautiful skin. And that's all the description we really get.
Yeah.
So, I liked that part. I was like, okay, thank you for being in a world where other people exist.
Yeah.
And we don't make a point of it. Nobody's like pointing out, oh, you're black, you're Asian, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just they exist and they're there. I really like that.
It's a diverse town, which, I mean,
That's
there's
the other thing
diversity
they
in all
changed.
towns. Yeah.
The movie was set in LA and the book is set in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Like northern Michigan.
Yeah.
So that is, they did change the setting. In the house, I'm not sure if they changed people's names or characters that much in the movie, but we have Tom, who's like the really good guy, who's the leader basically.
Don
is the asshole.
Yeah, played by
John Malkovich. In the movie.
Fletcher. There was a Fletcher in the book.
Felix, I thought.
Was it Felix?
That's Felix.
It might be, yeah.
There's Cheryl.
Later, there's Olympia.
Yeah, she shows up later. Gary shows up later. And it felt like there was more people than that. In the movie, there's Charlie. He wasn't in the book at all. So it's like slightly different. And then in the movie, we meet the owner of the house. Greg or George.
I think it was George. It was George in the book anyway.
Yeah. And he's really kind and he was like wanting to help people. Immediately in the movie, we have all of the stuff we've said, but they sweep it down into a nice, tidy, 15 minutes. And we meet the people in the house. And what happened was John Malkovich's Dawn, his wife, sees Sandra Bullock fall down in a stampede of people. And she's like, she's pregnant. I have to go help her. And she goes and helps her Mallory stand up. And then she turns around and sees one of the things and wanders off and climbs into a blazing car and kills herself. Mallory gets saved, and Dawn's wife died. So we have an immediate conflict where Dawn hates Mallory, and this sets the scene for a lot of the antagonism, because she's what made him a decent person, and that's gone now.
Right.
So he can just be full drunk asshole to everyone.
Yeah. Well, in the book, Dawn is just like that.
He's just like that.
Yeah.
He is just kind of a dick, but he's a lot more of a neutral dick. I think he was just slightly antagonistic to everyone for no reason, whereas in the movie, he's given a very specific reason to hate Mallory for a reason. Also, he's grieving, and he doesn't really grieve. He just drinks.
Yeah.
And we're given a lot more play between the characters of Mallory and Dawn, whereas she just kind of avoids him in the book. He's kind of just there.
And she actually has, some kind of relationship with Tom.
Yes.
Whereas in the movie, Mallory just thinks to herself, oh, Tom is just such a swell guy, and just emotionally attaches herself to him for kind of no reason, other than just him being
I think he thinks she's hot, and that's good enough for the movie.
Yeah.
And he is sweet, and he is hot. So it's they just have that TV, these are the two main characters.
Yeah.
They are going to be the ones who survive or whatever.
I meant more in the book.
Right. In the book, they actually have a relationship, and she really admires his character.
Yeah.
And he has a very good... Also, I loved in the book, he's a an elementary school teacher.
Yeah, he's like a science teacher.
Yeah, and it was so he's from a caring profession who already has good planning skills and coordination and soft skills. So that made really good sense. We don't know what anyone did in their previous life in the movie. We skip all of that.
Yeah.
And most of it doesn't really matter.
Sidebar about the time skip stuff. So in most of the transitions, there isn't any indication on exactly how much time has passed. But at the very beginning of the book, there is a transition that says 9 months. But I think they put the 9 months in the wrong place, because it was transitioning from current day Mallory going down to River to early in the situation Mallory.
That may have been an issue with the AI or something, because I don't remember that.
Maybe, but I that was something I paid attention to on the second listen.
Oh, okay. I only listened the one time because I was listening on my way to and from work.
Yeah.
And I was listening at 1.25 speed, and then I was like, oh god, I forgot how much I hate this book. I hate this book.
Yeah.
During the river trip, not much happens.
Yeah, they stretch out one day of travel is what it feels like.
Yeah.
While also telling a story that is spanning over the course of a few months.
No, because in the book, it's a full 8 months.
Yeah.
8.5 months or 7.5. Because she just found out she was pregnant. She spends 5 or 6 weeks at home with Shannon and then gets up there and she's barely showing. They can tell she's pregnant because she's super skinny and showing a bit, but she's not heavily pregnant. So she spends months and months and months in the house. And then in the movie, they're getting a sonogram to find out the sex, which I think she doesn't want to find out. But she's heavily pregnant. She's been pregnant for a long time.
Yeah.
She's ready to be done.
I definitely understand why they did that for the movie, because it
liked it better
simplifies it,
yes,
narrows it down a lot, saves a lot of time.
So much time. Listening to the book, I think it was 9.5 hours. The movie was 2 hours. It was so much better.
Yeah.
On the river, the only things that actually happen are they run into that guy who has seen the creatures, has gone insane, and has not killed himself. At one point, wolves attack them and scratch her arm.
They go under a bridge where Tom's voicemail to the sanctuary is playing.
Right, and that tells them when it's time to divert, because the river splits into 4 channels and they have to pick the second from the right to go in the right channel, and that's what leads to the sanctuary. We find out later that Rick, the man from the sanctuary, had been on the phone with her because they kept phone service for a very long time, and he said, you'll hear the message and you'll recognize it and you'll know that's when to open your eyes and pick the right channel. And he didn't know that Tom was dead, so he didn't realize how traumatic it would be to her to hear his voice. And it was from a voicemail that Tom had left because he had finally found a phone book and called every number in the phone book for all of Michigan. That's the other thing, is they make the choice in the book to say that they have hydroelectric power and it could basically leave it running forever until something breaks. So most of the book, they have electricity, and we just skip the problems of electricity. And then they have a well in the backyard where they pull up buckets of water. That's how they get water. So he just was like, we're not dealing with no electricity. We're not dealing with no water. That's settled.
Fine. Yeah,
Fine.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, because a lot of times...
That's not the parameter of the situation we want to explore here.
Right. We're exploring these interpersonal conflicts and how would you survive life if you couldn't look at anything.
So to boil it down a lot, the situation in the house is everybody trying to figure out and agree on what to do, like whether to go out at all or when to go for supplies or whether to go look for dogs.
In the book, because they were planning on making this a sanctuary and he had started inviting people at the beginning of the problem, he has a cellar full of food, full of supplies. Like they literally are stocked for months and months and months for 6 or 7 people. Like a prepper, but he made good food choices. Has, tuna and beans and things, not just rice and dry beans. It was like better food. In the movie, all of it was very, very sudden and quick, and they weren't on purpose inviting people in. It was just standing at the door, come in here, rescue the 5 people running past the house at this moment in time.
Very spur of the moment.
Right. So they have more of a necessity in the movie to go to a grocery store. And Charlie worked at a grocery store and he had locked it up before the town went insane. And he's like, I can get you in because I have the key, and then we can be locked in and it'll be safe and we can get for supplies and come back. They paint the outside of their car with black paint. They put newspaper on the inside of the windows. And because it's 2018 or whatever, they have motion sensors and they're able to drive using GPS that shows them exactly where to go, when to turn. And then they have motion sensors to tell them, oh, there's a car in front of you, you need to go around it. And so we have lots of dramatic moments where the sensors are triggered, the creatures are around the car, nobody can see it, we get flying leaves in the movie.
Very unique use of those things for a horror movie, I think.
Yeah, and it was also like, wow, modern technology would really make this a lot easier. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
They get down to the grocery store. Tom and Mallory have a little bit of cute flirtation. You can tell they're now the romantic interest. They hear knocking on the back door, like the delivery bay, and Charlie's like, hey, that's so-and-so, I know your voice. So they go to open the door, but the birds that Mallory had found in this little bird cage are going insane. And that's how they tell it can, sense one of the creatures. And the guy, is trying to get in. Charlie rushes him, or runs and gets outside, and then he sees the creature and kills himself. And the other guy doesn't. He's still standing there, banging on the door. So we lose Charlie. Everyone is like, oh, there's people who can survive seeing it, and they're insane.
Yeah, much more of a problem in the movie than the book. There are, roving gangs of...
Yes, of insane people who are able to get along with each other and act fairly normal.
With the common goal of making
other
people
see
look.
see the monsters. They get supplies, they go back to the house, and we get conflict between people because it's like, what's the point? We can't go outside. It's the end of the world. In the movie, Cheryl and Felix steal the car and run away, so that one source of resources is gone. In the book, it's mostly conflict around Tom and Jules going to other houses to look for stuff and then coming back, and it's like, well, are they safe? Are they okay? Are there things outside? I felt like in the book, the creatures are not necessarily malevolent or interacting with humans on purpose.
Yeah.
I felt like they were just kind of wandering around and just existing, and the humans were going insane. But in the movie, they're very much malevolent and trying to get in.
Yeah.
And trying to get you.
Yeah, for sure. I think Mallory had the thought going down the river that she didn't know if this was just simply an effect of a creature beyond comprehension that just happens to suicide you, or if they're trying to take over or what. So that was a thought she had. Speaking of thoughts she had...
Yes, thoughts she had, it said.
Yeah. You have a hot take.
I have a hot take. And my biggest beef is with the book and with book Mallory. At one point in the story, after the babies are born, and she's thinking back on it, I think on the river, she considers blinding the babies. Because if they cannot see, they will never be missing out on anything, because they can't see. And they will never be at risk of killing themselves from seeing the creatures. And I think she should have done it, and most other people disagree with me.
I'm riding the fence on this one, honestly.
Okay.
So my thought, yes, that would be the most efficient thing to do in the situation. I think that just is saying about the character that she can't do it. Like, even the book says that Mallory
she wants
also
to, she
thinks
tries,
it's a good idea.
And she thinks it's a good idea, and she wimps out and doesn't do it. Yeah.
And I think that's perfectly normal. I think it's okay to be pretty fucked up and not be able to
go through with it.
Yeah.
Right. I just think that she's willing to abuse these kids. She's willing to hit them.
Yeah.
And harm them and scare them and tell them they will die. She will leave them behind. She tells them if they open their eyes or disobey, she will leave them and just go away.
Yeah.
That is really psychologically damaging.
Oh, for sure.
She's willing to hurt these children. She is not willing to do this thing that she agrees is a good idea because it's too hard.
Yeah.
I just am like, why? Okay, fine. We're just going and without this conflict, half of her screaming thoughts would be gone.
Yeah.
Fucking damn it. That was just so much energy in their early babyhood to train them not to open their eyes, to listen. If she had just taken away their sight, they would have listened automatically. We would not have had this huge anxiety and trauma around listening the way that we did. It would have taken away so much stress for her and her children. And then in the book, at the end, when they get to the sanctuary, it's a sanctuary for blind people who have a way of getting around and walking sticks and seeing eye dogs and braille. Who'da thunk it? And in the book, she's horrified at these blind people, and she sees people who blinded themselves, and she grabs her children and screams, "Stay away!" Because she is so grossed out by the idea of people being blind or blinding themselves that she just cannot. I think it's ableist. I don't think it's, oh, I couldn't do that because that would hurt their feelings and they would cry and I would cry.
Yeah.
I feel like she has this very strong sense of blind people gross. And at the very end, it really comes through.
Was that in the book?
Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
The very, very end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in the movie, she's like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, this is great.
Yeah. I might have just missed that part, but I was pretty burnt by the end of the book. I was just glad it was over. Actually, fun fact, the YouTube version was only 5 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe you missed stuff then.
It's possible. I don't know for sure, but initially I thought there was a part 1 and a part 2, and one was 5 hours and then the other one was another 5 hours. So I thought it was just split.
Okay.
So got to the end of that one, and that was the end of the book. So the second one was the sequel to that book.
Oh. Huh.
And I got done with the first 5 hours, and I was just like, what the fuck happens next? And no, that was the end of the book, thankfully.
That's weird, because my version was definitely 9.5 hours.
Did anything happen after they got to the blind school?
No, it's just her internal freak out at seeing people who, they have scars across their face because they physically blinded themselves. What had happened is someone accidentally saw, like they were sending people out with blindfolds, and someone's blindfold came off, and she came back in and she murdered 4 little kids and let the creature into the sanctuary. And they couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
So the people who didn't
had to blind themselves.
They blinded themselves to survive, figuring out where the creature was
But yeah,
So they
it
were
could've been-
explaining how they had to, like, physically blind themselves to survive, or they would have died.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Okay, and then they're like, we don't do like that anymore. We don't do that anymore. Like, that was some horrifying, inhumane thing to do when they literally did not want to die.
Yeah.
And that was the only effective way to keep themselves alive. And I just felt like she's really judgmental, she's really angry, she's freaked out, and it's just a really weird ending to me.
Yeah. I think my take from that, it could have been that the AI voice is going too fast and I might have misinterpreted it. But my thought was she saw the blind guy and she thought that might have been like a stipulation for being in this group, was that they would have to be blinded. That was my takeaway from that moment.
Well, the lady who comes and gets them and brings them in is sighted.
Right.
Like Victoria or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
So like her immediate interactions is with someone with sight, and then Rick is blind.
Right.
And so it's like, maybe,
Yeah.
but she, I don't know. During the book, also, her internal monologue going along is, if they can't go outside and see the sky, what's the point of living?
Right. Yeah,
She
that I agree
is-
is kind of an ableist sentiment.
She is so constantly going on and on about how they'll never see a butterfly. They'll never see the stars. What's the point of existing if they'll never see the stars?
Yeah.
And it's like, it just made me really, really frustrated with her as a character and the framing around this.
Yeah.
And you could have actually had a really interesting perspective of, how do you garden when you're blind? How do you pull the weeds and leave what you want?
Yeah.
That could be really challenging. That could be very difficult. Nobody in this stupid book makes themselves a walking stick like a cane, where they can feel what it is and learn how to get around their neighborhood. They don't train themselves to get by without sight. And in the movie, they're constantly removing their blindfolds and doing
Yeah.
powwows under the blanket.
I mean, the movie's no fun if everybody just keeps their blindfolds on and follows the rules the whole time, like they did in the book, because no one really took off their blindfold that much, and that was really boring.
Yeah, and I mean, stuff is happening, and we're describing, like, what the things sound like and stuff, but it just, I don't feel like I don't like hardly any of the characters except for Tom. Tom in the book and the movie is great. Tom... Okay, there's the conflict, there's this. Gary comes and knocks on the door, like, 2/3 of the way through the book and through the movie. And he's like, please let me in. I've knocked on every door. My housemates went insane. And I'm the only one that's left. Please let me in. And in the movie, Olympia just lets him in without telling anyone.
Yeah.
And...
Because she was recently just let in.
yeah, she was let in, and she's pregnant. And so that's where the other baby comes from.
Yeah.
It's not, Mallory doesn't have twins. It's Olympia's pregnant and due the same day, roughly, that Mallory is.
The exact same day in the book.
Yeah. And then Olympia feels sympathetic, and so she opens the door, and they let Gary in. And Gary tells some bullshit about how somebody else had seen them and gone crazy and opened the windows and let them all go crazy. And...
turns out he's one of the slow burn crazies.
right, he's one of the ones who was crazy before. He saw it. He didn't go crazy. He is just malevolent and wants everyone else to see them.
Yeah.
Mallory is suspicious in the book. She goes and looks in his briefcase, finds a notebook full of writings, and he's obviously insane. They're waiting for Tom and Jules to get back from raiding other houses.
In the book, it was they were looking for the dogs at that point.
Was that the time they were looking for dogs? Okay, I think they also wanted to go to Tom's house because he wanted medical supplies because he has
Yeah.
2 pregnant women to take care of.
Right. Also, did Tom have a daughter in the movie that he talked about like at all? Because that was the thing in the book, and it's left open to interpretation because she also kills herself, but Tom doesn't know whether it was because of the suicide monsters or if she was just sad because of her mom.
Right. Also, it could be like loneliness and hopelessness. Like she became severely depressed
Yeah.
and killed herself from that.
But at 8 years old, that was the thing that I got kind of hung up on. I can't think of very many any, like, I'm sure it's possible.
Children do attempt. It is a thing.
Okay.
It's not common, but it does happen.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, she lost her mom. She's stuck in the house. Every friend she's ever had was dead. Every friend she ever knew is probably dead. And the author wanted to give him a sad backstory and leave him wondering.
Yeah.
So he's left wondering, which leaves us wondering, did she kill herself from seeing one of the creatures? Did she look outside?
Or was she just real
was
sad?
she just that sad? Nobody likes Gary. He's a weirdo.
Except for Felix?
Dawn.
Is it Dawn?
In the book, Dawn and Gary become best buds, and Dawn goes down this conspiratorial rabbit hole with him. And Gary convinces Dawn that
you can look, it's fine.
you can look, and if you don't believe you'll go insane, you won't. They only go insane if they think they will. And people who are scared of the creatures are the ones who go insane and kill themselves. And in the movie, Gary actually locks Dawn out in the garage. They're not friends. Dawn doesn't like anyone in the movie.
Which makes more sense over that short time frame.
Right.
Like, Gary doesn't have anywhere near the amount of time to try to manipulate Dawn, so that kind of tracks. So I'm glad they really thought about it.
They did make the characters consistent with the time frame in the movie. I felt like the characters, they're just more expressive. I didn't feel like anyone was really expressive in the book.
Yeah.
Not really. We have that brief time where they go out to get water from the well, and it's either Felix or Jules who's getting water, and the other one is talking to help them know how far they are. And
God,
then
it went so slow.
it was so slow, and then we hear like a plop, and it's like, is something in the water? Is it a creature? And he's like trying to get the water, and he's scared, and he runs back and forth, and and then they won't drink the water because it could be contaminated from the creature, and they don't know if the creature's there. And the book is too long. The book is so goddamn long.
Yeah, it takes too long to think. I feel like the book thinks too much about this shit.
It was so long. We have a couple more dramatic events on the river. The boy falls out because they hit like a truck. She's able to flop around and find him and pull him up, but they lose their backpack. That's the other thing. I mentioned it at the beginning, but Mallory doesn't plan ahead at all. In any respect. In any aspect of her life. In any of this book. She does not plan ahead. In the book, she just decides one morning, we're going down the river.
Yep.
She doesn't take their extra clothes. She makes them pick out one shirt to wear instead of having them wear every piece of clothing they own. It's October.
Yeah, and you might fuck up. You're going down a river blind.
But also, she doesn't know what the people will have at the end. She hasn't talked to them on the phone for like years at this point. She doesn't know if they're still there. She doesn't know if they'll have food. She doesn't know if they'll have clean water. She leaves her house with almost nothing. Just some food from the basement and the clothes they're wearing. And it's like, sure, you don't need to pack everything you own, but a pot, some water, some things, some extra clothes, your blankets. And in the movie, we actually do have a fact, like a thing happens. An event causes her to leave. Whereas in the book, she just decides one morning, this is the morning, a lovely foggy October morning, why we're leaving this late into the season in Northwest Michigan. She even thinks about how that was a bad idea to put it off until October.
Yeah. And also in the book, Tom dies with everybody else.
Right, the day she and Olympia give birth. And there's no Tom to help her get through the children's childhood or to help or cause anything to happen. So this is literally just one morning. She's like, the author needs some day for me to start.
Why not now?
Might as well be this morning. And it's, she had been telling them that one day they would go on the river, and she doesn't like set a date or mark the calendar or choose. It's all just random. And it was the same way leaving her house with Shannon. Shannon dies. Okay, fine. Now it's time to leave.
5-6 weeks. All right, let's go. Let's go to a different place.
She doesn't even name the children.
Yeah.
She calls them boy and girl.
I still don't quite understand that. Like, I understand it from, like, an emotional point of view, which I think the movie goes more into than the book, because I don't think the book goes into it, like, at all, but, like, just not wanting to get them attached to them, so she just doesn't give them a name.
And I don't remember if it's the book or the movie, but somebody does say that she felt like names were a luxury she didn't have the time for. And she doesn't name them until the end of the book/movie. So the entire book/movie, she calls them boy and girl, and they call her mom. In the movie, they call Mallory, Mallory, and Tom, Tom.
Yeah. I feel like that is a little more correct, honestly, because if she's trying to
keep distance.
Yeah,
like this.
She's not going to have them call her mom.
Right.
Because that if they did die and she has to go through that emotional...
Also, I just think it would have been better to be like, she was having severe postpartum depression and PTSD, and she couldn't think of a name that seemed normal or right. And she just couldn't think of one. And that happens.
Yeah,
it can be really hard to name a kid, because they're going to be stuck with that forever. And it's like a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And just giving her that reasoning of, it was too hard, it broke my heart, all I wanted to do was name them Shannon and Tom, and I couldn't do it. You know, like something like that. That would have felt more human.
Yeah.
Instead of this freaking, we don't have the luxury of names.
I'm pretty sure that came from the movie, because I don't remember anything about it in the book.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Maybe.
pretty sure. I could be wrong. It was a long book, and I was paying attention for as much of it as I could.
Well, and what happened was I listened to 75% of the book, watched the movie, and then listened to the final quarter of the book. So it's a big blur for me. So eventually, Gary, in the book, they kick Gary out. They take a vote, they kick Gary out, and they say, we don't like these drawings. We think you're the one who killed your friends in the house. We don't trust you. Get out. And it also came out that, like, it comes out later that Gary had been watching the house for, like, a long time, and he knew they were there, and he knew who was there, and he kind of figured out how to, like, weasel his way in. But in the movie, he just kind of had been knocking on random doors. Because everything is just a much, much shorter time period. Like a matter of a month or two, not 8 months.
Yeah.
In the book, Gary, when everyone closed their eyes and told Gary to leave, he didn't walk out the door. He instead walked to the cellar.
Is that how that happened?
Yes.
That's
what
so
Mallory
stupid.
decides happens in her head.
I must have missed that one too, because that's really dumb.
And Dawn hides him behind the tapestry in the cellar in the dirt.
That's really I was trying to remember exactly how he got back in and why. Right. And I knew it had something to do with Dawn being in the basement, and he let him in somehow.
But I don't think he lets him in at any other point. He was always in there.
But they never made for sure that he left the house.
You would hear him walk across the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really stupid.
It feels like a plot hole. It felt like a really big plot hole to me. And then Don spends all his time in the basement, and he's apparently down there with Gary, and they're going even more insane. And then in the book, finally, Olympia goes into labor. She goes into labor.
Because that's how pregnancies do. They just simultaneously happen.
I guess for the book, we needed to have
extra
two
tension.
Newborns at the same time. I don't know.
For some reason.
And Gary and Dawn rip down the shades off the windows. Olympia and Cheryl and Mallory are up in the attic having the babies.
Gary's he's doing like a villain monologue and being like, you should just look at it.
You should just look at him. Just look at him.
It's real cool, man.
And he rips off the stuff off the windows. I think he kills Cheryl, maybe.
I think so. But
Olympia looks, and
as she's giving birth, she looks, and Mallory has to, like,
give me the baby, and she gets the baby from her, and she keeps her eyes closed, and then she makes strips and covers the baby's eyes with strips of cloth. And so she gets the babies and, like, hides. Olympia jumps out the window that's in the attic, and this made me so angry. You have no idea. Gary says she's hanging by her cord. The umbilical cord. Coming out of her vagina. Attached to her uterus. That can obviously hold the weight of a full woman. and it wouldn't rip. The placenta's already removing itself at this point. After a labor, what are we doing?
It's also funny, Olympia dying off screen and Gary just being like, "Oh,
Commentary.
gross! She's hanging herself by the cord. Gross."
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man who wrote this? Have you met
silly.
a woman? What is this? This was so stupid. I liked that in the movie. I really liked in the movie. She has given birth. She's holding the baby. He opens the window. You see her eyes go cloudy because she's seen them. She turns and looks at Mallory, and Mallory's like, give me the baby. Give me the baby. And she hands over the baby. And you can see like this fight of wills in her.
Yeah.
Because she's losing her mind. But she also has this like instinct to save her baby.
Yeah.
And I really loved how they made it very, very short and poignant, and we don't have Gary fucking screaming about she's hanging by a cord. She just jumps out the window and is dead. Okay. We're over. We're done. Mallory now has 2 babies. I guess Gary eventually leaves, and Tom and everyone in the house is going insane and killing each other. The dogs go insane. They get killed. She ends up like walking around with blindfolds for a really long time, like covering up the windows, swinging broomsticks around to make sure nothing's in the house, dragging dead bodies outside, trying to bury them.
While also taking care of 2 babies.
And having just had a birth, a natural childbirth.
Also had the dead bodies.
You would think she wouldn't get to them before they'd start smelling and making her sick.
Right.
Like, I thought that was not very believable. And in the movie, I think they try to fix a lot of those kind of plot holes by keeping Tom alive. He is there to help after she has the babies, and she's a nicer person in the movie. Like, I watched it with Amy, and I was like, she's so much nicer in this movie. She ends up having a character arc in the movie. Of being sorry that she's a cold mother, because there's a lot of problems with women having children, and everything they do is criticized and nitpicked, and you cannot be a good mother in America. Nothing you do will be approved. Everything you do is wrong. And so in the movie, at one point, the boy and the girl are stuck in the boat, and she wanders off to find supplies because the boy fell out and they're wet and cold. And the little girl climbs out and wanders off. Or maybe it's the other scene where they get split up somehow. But the
I
little
think it is
boy...
the girl goes off.
Well, at one point, the little boy says to Mallory, she's scared of you. She doesn't want to come back because she's scared of you.
Yeah. Which
And Mallory...
never comes anywhere close to that in the book.
No, we have no emotional recognition of these children's needs or emotions at all.
Yeah.
In the movie, Mallory is like, oh, I'm sorry. I love you. I want you to love me. I'm sorry I have hurt you. And I was like, wait, we get character development in the movie? This is so much better than the book.
Yeah.
Because she just reinforces to herself the entire book, I had to do this to keep them alive. I will do anything I have to do. I will hit them. I will beat them. I will scare them shitless. I will leave them behind. They will obey me instantly to keep them alive. Like, she is just, will do anything. In the movie, at least, we have Tom telling them stories. Tom being kind, feeding them, wanting to play games with them.
Treating them human.
Treating them like they're humans. And he makes her softer. He makes her kinder. And she's a lot more gentle in the movie. And it would be, like, really hard to parent 2 children without anyone around ever to help you or talk to you or anything. Like, I can't imagine how insane that would make a normal person.
Yeah.
But it just felt like... It just felt sad and dark, and I didn't feel like we did have any character growth in the book.
Yeah.
And none of the characters really grow or change. Tom is always kind. Tom is always helpful. She's always closed off and irritable.
Don's always a dick.
Yeah.
Gary's
and then they're dead.
Crazy. Yeah, and then they die.
At the very end, they get down the river. In the movie, they go down rapids. The river doesn't split. In the book, the river splits. She has to look. They don't see anything. It's okay. okay both ways. In the movie, they wander through the woods until they hear the birds, and the birds are at the blind people sanctuary. It's like had been a school for the blind.
Yeah.
And it's set up to where people who are blind there's braille on things, and everyone knows where stuff is. They're welcomed in, and that's when she names boy and girl. It really felt like in the movie, she walks in, and her doctor, who had been her OBGYN, sees her and is like, Mallory? And she comes over, and she's like, oh, little children, what are your names? And they say, boy and girl. And she looks at Mallory, and she is so disappointed. And she's like, actually, your name is Olympia and Tom.
And always have been.
And always has been. You're making me look bad.
Making me look like a bad mother.
But the problem is, in the movie, Tom died yesterday.
Yeah, that does feel a
The
little weird.
reason they go on the river, that we find at the very end of the frickin' movie, is because Tom died fighting some of these people who have seen the creatures and are insane and are trying to hurt other people.
Yeah.
And in the book, Tom died the night the children were born. They don't have any association with the word Tom.
Right.
So it wouldn't be weird. But in the movie, that would be really weird to be given your dad's name.
Yeah, right after he died.
When he died. And if you pay close attention in the movie, the kids don't know Tom died. She never tells them. She goes straight from he's dead to we're going to the river. And in this boat. It looks to the children like they abandoned Tom.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, never caught that.
Yeah. It's
Dark.
awful.
Yeah, I guess either way, these kids are fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't know. I hate this. I hate this book. I don't think it's hardly any of it's good.
Yeah.
I don't like Mallory. I don't like any of the characters except for Tom.
Yeah, none of the story really grabbed me. If it hadn't been made into a movie, I would have never read the book.
I would have never heard of it either. Whenever it came out on Netflix, I was like, oh, based on a book. I will read this and then watch the movie. And I was just really frustrated. I guess it's kind of interesting as a thought exercise. How would you survive the world if you couldn't see, if you had to either be blinded or wear a blindfold? How could you be safe? How could you ever, because you do have to worry about wild animals, other humans, even non-insane humans could still hurt you and you couldn't see them. It could be really dangerous. You wouldn't be able to see, things like injuries or like labels on medicine bottles. It could be very, very difficult to get by without ever seeing.
Yeah.
Also, you're at constant risk of just killing yourself.
Yep.
I feel like the concept was fine. I just really didn't like the way it was written. I didn't like the stuff.
That's my biggest beef. I can't stand the way this was written.
Yeah.
Just really annoying. Like, I understand if they were going for a thing and trying to mirror her state of mind or whatever. Cool. But it's really fucking annoying to read.
Yeah.
And
it really is.
That really doesn't matter what kind of artsy thing you're trying to do with it. If you annoy the shit out of me while I'm reading this, that kind of kills it for me.
Yeah, I was very annoyed. We had, similar to a book we did a while back, we had the same problem with it being first-person narrative. So you're limited in, is this actually what's happening? This is what the main character thinks is happening. Is this what is actually being seen or heard or smelled or experienced? Because that's only one perspective. We don't have outside or other perspectives. It just is limiting, and honestly, I think I've decided first-person narrative is just not great for most authors to choose.
I think it's good for more beginning authors, or if you're just getting started writing, because it kind of makes it simpler for you to be able to associate yourself with that character and actually get through a story with that. I think that it's better used for beginning writers.
It's good as a writing tool to gain experience. It's not fun for the reader on our side as much.
It's a crutch, and once you get to a certain level, it's only holding you back.
Yeah. This was his first novel. And I didn't realize there was a sequel.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of it is. I'm sure it's easy to find.
I think I saw there was a sequel to the movie on Netflix, but
Oh.
I don't know if I'd be interested or not.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on whether it had Sandra Bullock in it or not.
I don't think it did.
Oh, yeah, I don't care then.
I thought she did really well portraying Mallory as written.
Yeah.
I think I said she did gasping desperation really well. She embodies the franticness that this character is written with.
Yeah. I think I just have a bias towards Sandra Bullock, so anything she does is great to me, so.
Yeah. All right. Let us know what you think. Whether I'm wrong, and it's just one of those like we had discussed in the other book, Jamrack's Menagerie. You won't know what you can actually do in a desperate scenario unless you're there.
Yeah.
It's very easy to backseat driver. I would have done this. I would have done that.
Yeah.
But also I was raised to be very, very pragmatic and practical, and feelings be damned.
Right.
So I think that's part of like how I was raised, and not necessarily other people's perspective on things.
I'm not coming down on right or wrong on that one. I'm coming down on it as it's perfectly understandable for the character not to blind two babies with paint thinner.
Yeah,
So,
I just think she was wrong not to.
I think most people wouldn't be able to.
Right.
And I feel like it's way more realistic for people to be able to hit kids instead of horrifically maim them. That seems perfectly like something that would happen.
I guess.
Not coming down right or wrong on it either, but that seems like that would be more likely.
I guess it's like, I guess the question is, would blinding her newborns have been child abuse? Because the goal is preventing harm, and it's still physically damaging.
Yeah.
And then her other decision is to hit them and train them and create hypervigilance, and the goal of that is to prevent harm.
Yeah. I think
she just chose one path instead of the other.
I think they're both definitely abuse, but they're also both understandable.
Yeah. So lots of
complicated feelings about it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't like this author, I think. I don't... Oh, I did think it was interesting re-listening to it. How Don is the one who suggests.
Yeah, he has the idea. And
He's
I was like, oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, well then the bad guy, the asshole, is the one suggesting it. And then
Mallory's just like, yeah, I agree. That is definitely the most pragmatic idea.
Yeah, and then she fully intends to, and then she goes and, when they're very little, gets paint thinner because she thinks that's the most efficient way. And then when she goes and tries to, she just can't.
Yeah, and I think that's understandable. I think that's normal.
Yeah.
But they didn't entertain that idea. Like, they didn't even bring that up in the movie, did they?
No.
Yeah.
And in the movie, the kids spend most of their time asleep in the boat, and she doesn't scream at them to listen all the time like she does in the book.
That was also really annoying. Just the kids just constantly going, "Mommy, mommy," which I know that's just what kids do.
Oh God, you've never been on a road trip with a 4-year-old, have you? And then she's really angry that they're talking and making noise. And it's like, yeah, they're 4.
Yeah.
They're going to be talking.
They don't understand the concept of death, much less that it could happen by them talking.
They probably don't even know what actual injury is. They've been swatted and smacked by her.
Yeah.
But it's never mentioned that they're actually physically hurt. Like no broken bones, no cuts, no gashes. And they've only lived in this small house.
A minorly abusive bubble? Would that be the right way to put it?
Yeah, and I'm like...
Because she's not, like, maiming them.
No.
She's harshly disciplining them.
Yeah, well, I think more than, like, the smacking, it's the...
Psychological terror.
Psychological terrorizing them. And she thinks that she can train them to recognize sounds and then tell her what the sound is, and she can use them as hearing children.
That felt really weird to me.
But the problem is, they haven't been outside to ever hear these things. They cannot know. They do not have context for these sounds. They don't know what men's voices sound like. They don't know what other children. They've never heard a different language.
Yeah, in the book, that man on the river, that was the first man they had ever heard.
Right. They have never heard a man's voice. And this is a exotic experience.
Yeah.
So they might hear growling. They've never heard a dog.
Yeah,
Because
and
Victor died when they were newborns.
therefore, it doesn't matter how much you discipline a 4-year-old, they're going to get distracted, they're going to wander in their thoughts or whatever.
And they're going to be so bored, stuck in their own heads in the dark, whereas at home, they were able to open their eyes and see things and be interested and play, like, sighted with that, with stuff. And on the boat, they're blindfolded, so they're only supposed to listen, but they can't talk about what they hear. They can't talk to each other. She is not informing them, oh, I'm hearing a branch break. That's what a branch breaking sounds like. Because they would have never heard a branch break not ever being outside.
Yeah. There was one thing that also confused me in the book. Because the kids, like, they're in the house. This is before they leave. But the kids are old enough to talk to her. And they're like, can you describe colors to us? Like, are there not any colors in the house, like, at all?
In the movie, it's a very nice house. And
Yeah.
they have, like, a little kid tent and toys and coloring and, like, stuff. In my head, in the book, everything was just, like, brown and dark.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, they must never have ever seen color. Everything must be dark in there because the windows are covered. Maybe the light bulb's burned out. Like, maybe they just don't have anything to see in the house. Like, it was really weird.
It is really weird. Like, she was talking about them not knowing what certain animals look like, and, like, you can, like, draw, like,
Yeah.
right? Like,
And
you
you
can
would have
draw on
had
the wall if you
books.
want. Yeah.
You could
You
describe
tell them stories,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. And she really doesn't do that. She doesn't educate them about what the before times were, what the outside is like. And
It
blind
almost-
people still experience the world.
Right.
I had a friend in college who I think she is either just graduated or graduating, who was blind and got across campus and did stuff. And she needed help sometimes, but she was able to experience the world and go through college. Like, this isn't...
Relatively self-sufficient.
Yeah, like, this isn't... People pretend like sight is the only sense that we have.
But yeah, in the book, it makes it seem like the only thing Mallory did with those kids was just teaching them militantly to hear sounds and listen to her.
And the things she's teaching them are only relevant in the house. She walks down the hallway and trails her finger against the wall. And they tell her, you trailed your finger against the wall.
Yeah.
So they're able to recognize this specific sound, but out on the river, that's useless. That is useless information.
Yeah.
And I feel like, to keep harping on it, I feel like if she had blinded them and then felt a little more safe to go outside with the children, and she knows they won't be able to take off blindfolds.
Right.
No one will be able to remove the children's blindfolds. They could have spent more time outside, experiencing life outside, because we've established the creatures don't touch people and they don't, like, hurt them. They don't physically interact with them hardly at all.
There's also the extra wrinkle. In the book, she's like terrified of Gary just being lurking around a corner, though.
Right, because in the book, it's never established where he went and what he did, and she thinks that he's, like, following the house and following them and doesn't know where he is, and he could just... And I'm like, ugh, okay.
Like, I guess that's a potentiality. It never comes to fruition by the end
No,
of the book.
it's just another thing to be scared of.
Right, and that's most of what we spend our time doing in Mallory's head is just her thinking about the things that are scaring her. And yeah, I don't know. The book just bored the shit out of me. Like,
It was so...
especially watching the movie and then reading the book, it's so much better done in the movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, oh, thank God. We are just moving from thing to thing to thing to thing, and we're not taking forever. And these characters are established and named, and then we care about them, and then we're moving on. And they even on the river, they said like 6 hours later. 12 hours later, 24 hours later, and these little things happen on the river, and then the river's over. And whereas in the book, it was just so monotonous and so long.
Especially like right at the climax moment too, because it's jumping fucking nuts. Because in the one timeline, you've got Mallory giving birth and Gary being weird, and then you've got her What was it? They were going under the bridge at that moment or something?
They hear splashing in the water, and it's apparently a creature. And it comes up alongside them in the
birds.
boat.
They had like
and the birds go insane overhead. There's a flock of birds overhead, and they see the creature too, and they beat the shit out of themselves and fall on them in a rain of dead birds and blood and feathers.
Yeah.
And the creature stops the boat and, like, touches her blindfold and, like, pulls on it and then lets go, and they go on their way. And then they are past it, and the little boy is like, it's gone, or it's behind us. Like, he can hear where it is in the water. And she's able to look forward, find the channel they're looking for, and go into it. And so we're hearing this part of the story at the same time.
Yeah,
she's pushing out a baby.
It's one line this timeline, one line the next timeline, one line this other timeline. And especially audiobook, I feel like absolutely unlistenable.
Yeah, it was so difficult to keep track of where we are, when we are. And because we're in Mallory's head, we're not being told each time where we are necessarily. And yeah, it was just like, I usually don't mind jumps in timelines and flashbacks, but I felt like this one was disorienting and frustrating.
Yeah, which may have been how the author wanted to reflect Mallory, but again,
Right.
just really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
So
Didn't like it. I would give this a C minus, a D.
yeah, I feel like a low C is fair for the book.
Yeah.
Movie though,
Probably a good solid B plus.
yeah, B plus, A minus. I feel that.
Sandra Bullock, the actors were
Solid
good.
cast, yeah.
Yeah, the cast was really good. Really intense, because you're seeing people die. It's really sad.
It's happening really quickly and in quick succession. You're not doing this fucking slow burn shit.
Right. And I also felt like visually, the movie, we are able to tell whether we're in the present or the past because you see the river. We're not in her head listening to her screaming the whole time. You can see they're on the river and they're experiencing things.
Yeah.
So the movie, you're experiencing events, you're not experiencing her thoughts.
It is terribly ironic that the story about not being able to see things was expressed so much better in a visual medium.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you would think that would be a downside to watching it. Because all of the horror and terror is inside of you.
Yeah.
Being blind, not being able to read things or find out what's coming.
Or receive any kind of information.
Yeah. Yeah, that was our thoughts on Bird Box. And let us know what you thought. I'm willing to bet not many people have read the book.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it until last week when you brought it up.
Oh, really? You didn't know that
I had no idea.
that the movie was based on a book? Oh. Yeah. So I really, really doubt many people, but maybe some of you have, and you can let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
Follow us on Blue Sky, bugs-bibliorex at podcast.bsky. Email us at
bibliowrecks@gmail.com.
And what do you guys think about the bonus material? Do you like the Bad Book, Bad Movie? And if you do you have suggestions for more?
We're thinking about doing a few games of Bring Your Own Book, if you've heard of that one, and just doing maybe some books from the podcast, maybe just random books. My go-to strat is to find a book about Nazis and go with that.
Other ideas for bonus content has been short stories, other sort of things. So we just would love some ideas because there's not as many Bad Book, Bad Movie combos as I thought there would be.
Yeah.
Oftentimes one or the other is a lot better, and so then we're sitting there explaining the good one and then the bad one, and
Yeah. And we may dip back into it from time to time. Every now and then we'll come across another one. So we might just dip into it whenever.
yep. So let us know your thoughts, and we'll catch y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.